Assalamu alaikum student. This is Dr. Naveed Shahad, your course instructor. Today this is our 12th lecture. In this lecture we will talk about restriction fragment length polymorphisms, which is shortly called RFLPs. In this lecture we will discuss what is RFLP and how these RFLPs work. RFLP is basically a non-PCR based technique. RFLP is also a genetic marker which help us to know the unknown sequences in the different genomes. Actually, it is also a comparison between two or more than two individuals. In this case, we will not use any kind of primer, but we will talk about the restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes, specific restriction enzymes used to cut the genomic sequences at the specific sites. So the restriction fragments which we obtained after cutting the DNA can be run on the gel for the comparison. We can make such kind of study between two individuals or more than two individuals. These individuals may be of same species or of closely related species. So now let's start. What is RFLPs? RFLP is a variation in the length of a DNA fragment produced by a specific restriction enzyme, as I have told you, acting on our DNA from different individuals, and these restriction fragments are actually obtained due to the result of a genetic mutations. How we can define RFLP? RFLP an inherited difference due to the genomic variations in pattern of restriction enzyme digestion is known as RFLP. When we use specific restriction enzyme to cut DNA sequence from different individuals, restriction enzyme is the same type of enzyme, but the fragments may be of the different sizes. Why different sizes? Because of the mutation. If two organisms differ in the distance between site of cleavage of a particular restriction enzyme, the length of the fragments produced will be different when DNA is digested with a restriction enzyme. So RFLP analysis is detection of the change in the length of the restriction fragments. A restriction enzyme cuts DNA molecule at every occurrence of a particular sequence called restriction site. The site at which enzyme create its cut, that site is called restriction site. And the fragments which are obtained as a result of restriction digestion are called restriction fragments. Restriction enzymes make same type of cut at the same sequence, but the size of fragments may be vary. For example, HIND3 enzyme cut at specific sequence as I have shown you, AAGCTT. So if we use this enzyme for our FLP study, if we use this enzyme for restriction digestion, so this enzyme will make all the possible sites in the genomes like AAGCTT. Maybe this restriction enzyme can cut at few locations or few places or in even 1000 places. It's depend upon the presence of this sequence. If we apply a restriction enzyme on DNA, it cut every occurrence of the restriction site into 1,000,000 restriction fragments, each a few thousand nucleotide long. The size of fragment may vary. It depends upon the presence of location of these sequences. If these sequences are very near to each other, so restriction fragment will be of the small size. If these sequences like AAGCTT are far away, so large size of the fragment will be obtained. Any mutation or polymorphism of a single nucleotide may destroy and may change length of the fragment. Like HIND3 have specific region AAGCTT. If single nucleotide, single base add or remove from this sequence, so HIND3 will not be able to make cut at that one location, at that one place. So we can say HIND3 has lost its site due to the mutation, single base mutation. The term polymorphism refers to slight differences between individuals in base pair sequences of genes. A polymorphism is actually morph means form, poly means many form of gene. When we say polymorphism, it means many forms of a gene. Sometimes we say alleles. एक जीन के अंदर म्यूटेशन की वजह से उसकी डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स बन रही हैं, क्योंकि अगर एक जीन ए है उसमें कहीं म्यूटेशन आ गई तो वो जीन A1 हो सकता है, फिर और फर्दर म्यूटेशन कहीं आ गई एक दो बेसिस की तो A2 होगा, A3, इस तरह एक ही जीन है उसकी में म्यूटेशन आती जा रही है और उसकी जो डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स बन रही हैं, इसको हम कहते हैं पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म. So polymorphism is actually due to the genetic changes, due to the mutation. So a polymorphism is a clinically harmless DNA variation that does not affect the phenotype. Phenotype of the individual will be the same, no effect on the phenotype of the individual. So RFLP analysis is a technique which used to detect change in the length of the restriction fragments. What type of the variations may be possible in RFLP. What kind of changes? In genetic changes, single base changes in nucleotide sequences, which we say SNP, single nucleotide polymorphism. Tandem repeats. Tandem repeats mean few sequences of nucleotides repeat in the genome of the organism. The repetition depends upon maybe 5 times, 6 times repeats or more than this. Tandem repeats like VNTR. VNTR is a tandem repeat. VNTR stands for variable number tandem repeats. Other variation is polymorphism. As I have told you, mutations. Mutation may be insertion or deletion. It also causes variation in genetic makeup. SNP or VNTR are simply markers which in most cases have no known effect on the structure or the rate of production of any particular protein. Student, next is the methodology or the procedure of RFLP, how we can perform RFLP. RFLP detection depends on the possibility of comparing band profiles generated after restriction enzyme digestion of target DNA. These differences in fragment lengths can be seen after gel electrophoresis, hybridization and visualization. So what are the basic steps involved in the methodology of RFLP? First is DNA isolation of DNA, second restriction digestion and gel electrophoresis, DNA transfer by Southern blotting, DNA hybridization. These are the 4 main steps. Next we will discuss in detail one by one. First step is actually isolation of DNA. To extract DNA from its location, like we want to study RFLP in the plants. 2 different plant species are 2 varieties of the same species, so we will have to isolate or extract DNA from those plants. For isolation of DNA, there are different protocols which have been optimized, or working protocols, so we can select one of them. And in other case, if we are going to study human or animals, so we can use DNA isolation protocol specified for the human or animals. But we will talk about the plants. We can isolate, we can extract DNA from the desired plants. Extracted DNA is digested with specific carefully chosen restriction enzymes. Here we have isolated DNA. We will not run any PCR at all, because in the start I have told you this is non-PCR based technique. Here we will use restriction enzyme. Most suitable restriction enzyme will be selected and used for restriction digestion. Thousands of the restriction fragments produced are commonly separated by agarose gel. After running the DNA fragments on agarose gel, we can visualize DNA bands on the gel by using ethidium bromide stain. Ethidium bromide is a intercalating dye which intercalate with the DNA molecules, and if we apply UV light, fall UV light on ethidium bromide, it will give fluorescence, so we can identify DNA bands by using this dye. Visualization using ethidium bromide and UV light. After visualization, next step will be the hybridization. In hybridization, probe will be used. Probe is actually known sequence of DNA which can be used to hybridize to anneal with these unknown DNA fragments. So this procedure will be performed in a specific way, in a specific approach which is called blotting. Here we say Southern blotting. In Southern blotting, we can transfer DNA fragments from gel to a suitable nitrocellulose membrane. Gel is first denatured in a basic solution of sodium hydroxide and placed in a tray. A porous nylon or nitrocellulose membrane is placed over the gel and develop stacks of papers so that capillary action may develop here. All the DNA restriction fragments in the gel transfer as a single strands by capillary action to the membrane. All fragments retain the same pattern on the membrane as on the gel. You just take it like this. DNA bands, if DNA bands are on your right hand, you stick your right hand with the left hand, then band left hand is actually nitrocellulose membrane. DNA band will shift from right hand to left hand. In this way, Southern blotting work. The membrane with target DNA is exposed to DNA probe, which is radioactively labeled with a known sequence. On the basis of availability and complementarity, hybridization will occur. Our probe will attach only the complementary strands of the DNA, complementary fragments of the DNA, not with all. After hybridization, we can wash the unbind probe. After washing, we will use to visualize, to observe it. The DNA probe is a single-stranded molecule conveniently labeled using any standard method, for example radioisotopes, and hybridized with the target DNA, which is stuck to the membrane. So DNA probe bind with the sequences that are complementary to it. Among the thousand or million of the undetected fragments that migrate through the gel, desired fragments may be detected after simultaneous exposure of the hybridized probe to the X-rays, which on exposure appear as black spot on the X-ray film. Look here, its overall view of DNA typing and southern blotting. इसमें आप देखें स्टूडेंट, DNA टाइपिंग में DNA को आइसोलेट किया गया है. यहाँ पे हम 2 सैंपल यूज़ कर रहे हैं, सैंपल A, सैंपल B. 2 डिफरेंट सैंपल से DNA को आइसोलेट किया, फिर रिस्ट्रिक्शन डाइजेशन की विद रिस्ट्रिक्शन एंजाइम्स. सो यू कैन ऑब्जर्व different fragments are present here. These different fragments will be run on the agarose gel with DNA marker. Then इसमें देखेंगे आप कि जब जेल पे रन कर लिया है तो इसको फिर डीनेचर किया गया, डीनेचर करके तो सिंगल स्ट्रैंड में चेंज किया. वाई वी नीड टू डीनेचर दिस? Because actually at next step we will do hybridization. For hybridization DNA should be single stranded so that it can attach with the probe, it can hybridize with the probe. इसमें आप देखें कि एग्रोज जेल के साथ नायलॉन मेम्ब्रेन को अटैच किया गया है, जिससे कैपिलरी एक्शन के थ्रू DNA के बैंड्स नायलॉन मेम्ब्रेन पे शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं. फिर इस नायलॉन मेम्ब्रेन को लेकर जिस पे DNA के बैंड प्रेजेंट हैं, फ्रेगमेंट प्रेजेंट हैं, इनकी हाइब्रिडाइजेशन की जाती है विद द प्रोब जो कि रेडियोएक्टिवली लेबल्ड हैं. तो राइट वाली डायग्राम पे देखें फिगर 2 में रेडियोएक्टिव लेबल्ड DNA प्रोब इन अ सिंगल स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म प्रेजेंट. तो इसमें DNA के प्रोब स्पेसिफिक फ्रैगमेंट्स के साथ अटैच हो गए हैं. उन फ्रैगमेंट्स को फिर हम एक्सरेज फिल्म के थ्रू जो है ऑब्ज़र्व कर सकते हैं. जिस तरह के एट द एंड सैम्पल ए और सैम्पल बी के जो रिक्वायर्ड बैंड्स थे वो अपीयर हो गए हैं. 2 सैम्पल ए में अपीयर हुए हैं, 2 सैम्पल बी में अपीयर हुए हैं. बट यू शुड कीप इन माइंड the sizes of these bands are different. So this is overall procedure of RFLP. What are the applications of RFLP? RFLP can be used in maternity cases or in criminal cases to determine the source of a DNA sample. So it is a forensic application of RFLP. RFLP can be used to detect mutations in different species or in different individual of same species. We can study the mutation through RFLP. In human population genetics, geographical isolates and comparison of genetic makeup of related species can be made. We can also study genetic diseases in human like sickle cell anemia. What are the advantages of RFLP? RFLP is a simple process as compared to other genetic marker process or PCR approaches. It is a simple process. It is an accurate process. No sequence information required. Why sequence information is not required? Because here we use restriction enzymes. So these restriction enzymes, specific restriction enzymes, will make cut on the specific locations. What are the disadvantages of RFLP? There are few disadvantages of RFLP technique. It is an expensive approach as compared to other. It's too much costly approach because southern blotting involve probe preparation, hybridization. Each and every step is a costly step. Other disadvantage, it is slow and time consuming process. Yes, it will take time, maybe 2 days or 3 days. Laborious and in laborious process, and require a large amount of DNA, because for restriction digestion DNA required. Then for southern blot DNA also required. So overall large amount of DNA required to complete this process. Last disadvantage is it is a difficult to automate. It is a mostly, you can say, manually. It is have to perform manually, not automated like PCR or other approach. So in this way we can say there are a few disadvantages of RFLP. So it's all about the RFLPs.